Well, Hippen, there's a good chance you're probably a little tired of our local Cleveland Brown sports media. Same old thing, day after day, night after night. It's time to hang the cleats up. It's time to pass the torch. If you're looking for something fun, something fresh, something where four people literally smack themselves in the face over and over with hot take after hot take, then my boys at Down with the Browns is where you want to be. It's just good for your soul. Available on Apple Podcast, YouTube, and Twitter. Getting down with the Browns.
And welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns.
Let's go, baby! We are back, man. We're back.
Yeah, we took a little
back from vacation.
Yeah, a little vacation, sickness recovery.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're back.
We are back, baby. Back and better than ever.
And lots happened. Lots happened.
Lots happened in the NFL. A lot has happened in the NFL and the sports world, and you know we're here to recap it in the Down with the Browns way. Obviously, I got my Celtics shirt on. Shout out to my Celtics shirt. Christian's got some new Pit Vipers, very beautiful, and Mac is doing Mac things. The Buffalo Herd's going to be told today, and how are we feeling, boys? How are we feeling? How was your time?
Well, I had the whatever kind of flu, sickness you want to call it. I can't get time in because I'm still standing, and it's not.
Standing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, that was a pretty funny joke. Where you were just like, I had to get some X-rays. I can't believe that. Like, I was absolutely livid. For those who don't know and didn't see the tweet last week, Christian out of the blue in our group chat just says, "I think I'm going to need to retire from the pod." Now, granted, Christian says stupid things all the time, but everyone legitimately took him serious. So we're sitting there. I mean, Christian's talking about X-rays, so obviously we're all concerned. And then he goes, "You said what? Something along the lines of, you sent the picture of the little dogs, little dogs in the X-ray, and you're like, I got that dog in me." And all I can say is I hate you for that. Still, it's literally been a week and a half, and I'm still pretty peeved. So.
Oh man, that was such a good one though.
Yeah, last time I take you seriously, and we were talking the other night. Like, what happens when you cry wolf and you're legitimately hurt, and we have no sympathy for you?
Yeah. What happens on the actual?
Yeah, but you'll know if it's legit though.
Will we?
Yeah,
will we?
Yeah, I won't joke around about it.
Will we?
Yeah, I won't set it up. I'll just go straight to the point. I won't just set it up for a good joke. But anyways, the Super Bowl is upcoming, and it is this Sunday.
Yeah.
We've got
Sunday.
We've got the Kelsey Bowl.
Yes, we do have the Kelsey Bowl.
Eagles versus Chiefs. So, do one of you guys want to talk about it and give a little score prediction on it, a little insight,
I'll go first because I feel like I've had the best record. I think I had the best record for the playoff predictions record wise. I just had to throw that out there. I was wrong with the 49ers getting so far with Brock Purdy, but I was right that they were going to lose to the Philadelphia Eagles. You don't mess with Philly in Philly. I knew that was a dub. That was probably easy. I will say though, in a neutral site, those Philly fans do travel well. And being in the Philly area right now, these fans are going to travel to the Super Bowl, and they're hungry for another Super Bowl because a team that just won the Super Bowl, I think 2017, 2018, did a little mini rebuild and have a different quarterback, different head coach, and came back and are now back in the Super Bowl again. I think that the Eagles are going to win this Super Bowl. I really do. I think they really want it. That defensive line is hungry. Patrick Mahomes did have 2 weeks to recover from that high ankle sprain. But he didn't look extremely mobile versus Cincinnati. And this defense is better than Cincinnati's defense, quite frankly. So I think that it's going to be a close game. A lot of memes have been going around with the NFL and Arian Foster saying that the NFL is scripted, and a lot of people have been throwing out the final score prediction scripted already. saying that the Eagles are going to win 37-34. And even have the scores for each quarter for the box score. So if that comes to fruition, that's going to be crazy. But I do not believe that the NFL is scripted in any way. But I think that was just a joke that a lot of players in the NFL have taken a liking to. Even Myles Garrett today saying that the NFL is scripted with the Pro Bowl and dislocating his toe. So,
well, I saw a TikTok with him in it, and it said like he didn't like his script for last year.
Yeah. They're looking at the script for last year. So I think that honestly it's hilarious. Truly, it really is funny, and it makes for good content, especially in the off season. So I think that it's going to be super enjoyable for all the fans. Andrew says the Eagles went all in this year. Can they sustain this success? I don't believe so. I told people around this area that it's not going to work out. They put a lot in here. Brandon Graham is saying that he's going to retire after this game, and if this Super Bowl goes in favor of Philly, Fletcher Cox might retire. There's a lot of people who might retire again, like a lot of people retired the first time they went to the Super Bowl. So I don't think they can sustain this success, but they do have the draft capital to do that, to re-up next offseason. So we'll see. Mac, what do you think? What do you think about the Super Bowl?
So I'm going to do something that I haven't done in 3 weeks. That is believe in the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, let's go.
Completely like it's ridiculous that it's taken me this long. You know what really opened my eyes? I kind of figured, the second that they were able to stop Saquon, and they just completely blew right through the New York Giants. That's fine. You knock a starting quarterback out of the game like they did with Brock Purdy, and you're going to completely make it one-sided to the point to where you don't even have to worry about coverage downfield because the quarterback can't even throw the ball. Their backup Josh Johnson got hit with a concussion, so Brock Purdy is out there literally just tossing and handing off the ball. I see a lot of guys, knock the Eagles schedule as well as the playoff game. Number one, in the NFL, you never really want to knock a team's schedule because one, they can't help it. And two, they're still winning all of those games in front of them. So I'm not sure how you can fault somebody for winning, but this defense, and I'm glad that you mentioned it, Manny, because that's what really makes me believe in this team. Doing a little bit of research, they have four guys in their front seven that accumulated over 10 sacks this season. And they had 4 guys in that front seven that accumulated over 20 pressures. So, no, this is a dry erase marker, Andrew. Head out of the gutter. Head out of the gutter. Okay. How do you know what a one-hitter is? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. But, yeah, no, they have an absolute nasty defense. The key to stopping Patrick Mahomes is being able to rush with 4, and that's what they can do. So pretty explosive offense on the other side of the ball as well. So I think the Chiefs have their hardest matchup of the season. I do think the Eagles are going to win, though.
I agree. I think Philly's going to have another Super Bowl parade in the streets. I think Jalen Hurts slander is going to go down the drain.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Devontae Smith's going to have a big game in the Super Bowl.
So Manny, I do have to ask, so you live, around the Philly area.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys just go into full lockdown when the Eagles win? I'm assuming you have like a bomb shelter, right?
That's funny enough. People, when you go into a Wawa gas station, which is a local gas station around here, sort of like a Sheetz or whatever, people are talking about actually having a doomsday bunker for Sunday. You're either going to the Super Bowl parade or you're going to be in a bunker watching the Super Bowl, because the aftermath of such is going to be crazy, especially because fans sort of knew that they would at least be in the Super Bowl this year because of the Eagles being so good, unlike the first time they went a couple of years back. So not the first time they went, but like, the most recent time they went, they didn't really even know, but it's going to be crazy. It is going to be crazy over here. So, shout out to Andrew saying Wawa is great. Wawa is a fantastic place.
It's absolutely fantastic.
It's a great place. If you don't know what a Wawa is, Google it, and I don't know what you could do. Order it off Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can do that on Amazon. You can do anything on Amazon. But yeah, no, it is going to be a straight movie. And speaking of being a straight movie, I do want to touch on just really quickly, about 30 seconds from each of you guys. Deshaun Watson did post via TikTok. It's been all over Brown's Twitter, everywhere. Kind of hyping up the season already. It's February, and he's like 2023 will be a movie. It's still up on his TikTok. You guys can see it. I'm sure you can search it on Twitter. He's kind of sitting in a room just drinking probably a beverage of the alcoholic sort, and just reminiscing that 2023 is going to be a movie. And it kind of gave a lot of Browns fans hope. Mac, you want to hold up what you're holding up? Lame.
Let him live, bro. He's just enjoying life.
You want to hype us up?
TikToks.
You want to hype us up? Why don't you grab some of your receivers and work on your deep ball that you missed late half in the season? I mean, it's getting to the point to where like it's already been bad enough that we've been drinking this Kool-Aid for 24 years. Now the players are asking to drink. Like we've already been drunk off this. I'm one of the most negative Browns fans out there.
Yep.
Technically I consider myself a realist, but everybody calls me negative.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have some positivity when there's the draft and the free agents. Like it's the same cycle every year, and it's cool. Yes, 2023 could be a movie, but at the end of the day, like, stop that talk, stop the stadium talk, stop the trades, win a damn game, and like that's where I'm at. As a fan, we had a lot of hype after this trade. We went through that giant rain cloud where, just because I like a certain team, I get dragged for my character. Like we've been through so much of this as like Browns fans. We had the journey with Jacoby Brissett, and he was actually playing enough well to win, but the defense just completely crapped the bed. Like, I don't know about you guys, but this whole past year, and I could say full year because shout out to you two. It's coming up on a year being on the pod.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
This pod specifically, absolutely loved it here. But this past year being a Browns fan, it's been extremely tough.
Yup.
So
I mean, the trade this time last year, or coming up in a month this time last year. It was hard to be a Browns fan when that trade actually went through, and you're just like, oh my gosh, how's this? And now, it's the trade's kind of grown on me a little bit. I'm more excited for Deshaun next year.
Yeah,
but the TikTok, I think a lot of people are just looking too much into it. I think that he's just trying to have fun, kind of get the fans interaction, trying to win the fans back over.
Yeah.
Because, there's still some fans that can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's all that was pretty much.
And 100%, I think I completely agree. And I just want to say a side story that a couple of fans in this area that I go to church with, they are huge Washington Commanders fans. And they actually showed up to the game for the Commanders and Browns. They haven't seen me since then, but they went and they actually stayed in a hotel and didn't realize the hotel was closed down after they booked a room, and it was because the Cleveland Browns were there. And so they were getting on an elevator, and somebody stuck their arm in the elevator to hold it, and in walks Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb. They both are on the elevator, and they said that Deshaun was one of the nicest football players they've ever met. So he's definitely winning over fans, even of other teams. And Nick Chubb was like, teasing their little daughter or whatever, on the elevator ride as they go up to the penthouse. But they said that Deshaun and Nick Chubb were actually, I'm surprised Nick Chubb was even talking, but they said that Deshaun and Nick Chubb were excellent and fun, loving human beings. And Deshaun said, enjoy the game and everything. So shout out to Deshaun.
Do you guys hear that?
What's that? Oh, I
Oh
hear
my
that.
gosh.
I hear that.
It's what the Buffalo heard.
In a world where everyone is trying to move on, I'd kill for just one do-over. This is Mac, what the Buffalo heard. If anyone cares, the NFL Pro Bowl happened this past weekend in Las Vegas. The 12 people that tuned in submitted negative feedback, such as injury risk for such silly events. This would reign true as Browns edge rusher Myles Garrett suffered a dislocated toe. To this I say, why God, why can't we have nice things? Former Browns defensive coordinator Joe Woods found a new job as the defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints. Really? Is this correct? He apparently thought he had interviewed well and they respected his defensive concepts. And this has to be an absolute joke. You can't be serious. So this is correct. Okay. Moving on. Lastly, after a 2-week wait, the biggest NFL game of the year, the Super Bowl, will kick off this weekend as the Chiefs play the Eagles. With such a close matchup, the only guarantee is seeing more of the Browns have yet to get to a Super Bowl host on social media. This is Mac, what the Buffalo heard.
You know those are coming. You know, you absolutely know that they're coming.
Prompts. It's always either CBS or Fox.
Yes.
For some reason, NBC doesn't want to upset us. Which, by the way, thank you.
Yes.
But it's always either Fox or CBS, and it's the same. It's the same thing.
Fox doesn't even show our games. Fox doesn't even show our games.
What? Yeah, it's.
What was that?
Yeah.
Okay, AB, do your day.
It's just ridiculous.
Speaking of Myles Garrett's toe during the Pro Bowl, I mean, I just want to quickly gloss over some of the NFL news. Obviously, Tom Brady is retiring. We just had the Pro Bowl, and during the Pro Bowl, Myles Garrett had that dislocated toe. He said today that there's nothing to worry about. He tweeted out and said, showed a picture of him walking in to the Pro Bowl, I think, and he had a concerned, perplexed look on his face as the picture, and then stated, when you read the script for the Pro Bowl, and he said that he'll be okay, Browns, and he said, go Browns. So, good thing there's just nothing that could be concerned about with the toe, but it was one of the headlines, right? I mean, you never want a player to get injured during the Pro Bowl, especially when they're not even playing a Pro Bowl game. It's basically dodgeball and flag football. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on that Pro Bowl, because Josh Jacobs hates it. He hates the format. He's like, oh, why don't you just send all the families on vacation? Well, the NFL is trying to make money, not lose money. So that's number one. And that's the first and last reason why they're not going to do that, Josh Jacobs. But what's your guys' a point of view on the Pro Bowl format? I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys like it, hate it, or what?
The Pro Bowl is such garbage, dude. Like, just throw it in the garbage. You might as well just give them let it be like the All-Pro. Just let it be like a certificate and just move on with it, man. I don't even watch it. I didn't even watch it.
You know what's before you go, Mac? What is more of like a kind of a resolution to that, Christian? Because NFL wants to make money, right? So they'll probably put on something.
I don't know.
Is it a Madden tournament or what?
Get them in the game. Make it like the NBA All-Star game. Put something in their contract. If they win the Pro Bowl game, they get a big incentive or something, or some type of incentive so they can go out there and play. Like, I mean, I get it. You don't want to get your players hurt, but make it entertaining. At least you're getting paid millions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go watch flag football. If I wanted to do that, I'd go out to like the rec yard or something.
Mac, what do you think?
So the only thing that I really liked, now it was cool seeing, I guess, like the relay races and, seeing the Browns involved and everything. But I mean, outside of the QB skill challenge, it's just kind of unbearable. And I'll say this, I'm only going to say one thing about this whole flag football. The fact that somebody even suggested that was an absolute joke. I mean, I'd rather read every single drunken text that I've sent out at 2 a.m. on a Saturday than watch grown men who are superior athletes play flag football. That is just ridiculous. Now, you obviously have to have this, because if it was just like the All-Pro thing, nobody would take it seriously. I mean, it's already gotten to the point where we are as fans that we look at All-Pro more than Pro Bowl anyway, because there's an actual with all pro, there's an actual like committee. There's actual football guys in this room voting instead of just being like a wide popularity contest, which is what it's getting to right now. And it's why we have ridiculous snubs every single year. And we have Tyler Huntley somehow put in, but
that's strange. That's really, really strange.
So if they could like tweak it and just have more fun, like I would love to see who can throw the ball the longest.
Yeah, why did they stop doing that? The Drew Bledsoe age.
Yeah, do that. Have like the linemen or just everybody like do like a benching contest. Like see like how like the hospitals do it.
I would love to see like you could probably run like what? Okay, so you have what? Like 2 linemen for every single position, right? Why don't you do big guy relay races? I'd watch that. I'd watch 300-pound men like haul ass.
Yeah, and see how you know what, Mac. What you're probably talking about here is essentially another NFL kind of combine, sort of speak for the pro. Like I wouldn't mind that. Get Tyreek Hill, get Jalen Waddle, get a couple of speedy wide Anthony Schwartz, throw them out there for a 40-yard dash. I don't understand little things like that. I think that would be fantastic. Andrew says the camera angle during the dodgeball was garbage. That was garbage as well. And he also said they're already.
Why is that a thing?
I don't even. It's. I guess it's a way, or at least if they're going to keep doing what they're doing, fine. Like Josh Jacobs says, meet them halfway and put it in Honolulu, Hawaii, like it was a bunch of years ago. You know what I mean? Like the Pro Bowl was always in Hawaii.
Yeah.
At University of Hawaii's stadium, football field. So I would think that so that the family has a time to go on vacation and it's still paid for. You still make money, right? I mean, the NFL still is going to make money, but I mean the players kind of get that incentive because it's in it's in Hawaii rather than I think it was Las Vegas where it just was. So it's like I mean I don't know. I would rather go to Hawaii than Las Vegas anyway, personally. So
but. The Pro Bowl is lame, but what is exciting for Browns fans, especially, is talking about the offseason. And we texted in our group chat for us to just come up with a list of 3. And it's 3 free agents we all wanted to target, and 3 draft picks that we like. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start with our free agency picks. You just want to go one at a time, and we'll just hit all 3 of them. And
yeah. We can do that.
Who wants to start?
You can start, Christian. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I think you guys already know who I'm going with right off the rip. It is defensive tackle from the Washington Commanders. I'm about to say Commandos. Daron Payne. Dude's a dog. I mean, his PFF grade wasn't the best. It was at a 58.4, but he had 11 sacks, 64 tackles, 49 pressures, 20 QB hits, 5 pass deflections, 18 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 1 safety. And that's just last year. Dude is a dog. Imagine this guy next to Myles Garrett.
So I'm gonna say this one thing, Christian, while we're talking about Daron Payne. The one thing that I don't understand is his PFF grade. I really don't. Because
it's got to
while
be
they
something
say
in the
it's
run
so
game.
low, but no, it's not. He's had 45 run stops this year. So like I can't even. Wild. He must be just like out of
special teams,
maybe
special teams.
No, it wouldn't. That's I mean, as much as I love PFF grades, there are some times where they're just a little bit off because, and part of it is, the best graders in the NFL are the coaches themselves because they 100% know the scheme. They 100% know the assignment and they know how their guys are getting coached. So there are sometimes that, miscommunication between, okay, so, even though he made a play on film, they could still count it as a negative because they believe that he's out of assignment. But I mean, 45 run stops. Like he's great against the run. He's great at moving the pocket. He's great rushing the passer. Like, he's got some moves in his pass rush bag there. I don't know why you wouldn't want Daron Payne.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And whoever wants to go next.
I can go next. I was thinking about this, and this sounds crazy because I don't even think his name was brought up, and I think that the Kansas City Chiefs will re-sign him. But if you move Jedrick Wills over to right tackle and pick up Orlando Brown Jr., Orlando Brown is 26 years old, going to be 27 before the start of the season. He's going to be a lot of money, though, $16 million. But put Orlando Brown at left tackle. Honestly, it's a stretch. It's one of those names that sound really beautiful and like, oh man, we can get Orlando Brown. Andrew saying Payne's getting tagged. I don't know if he would get tagged. I don't know if Washington wants to pay him the average.
Have you heard the whispers inside Washington?
They're
there's
about
this
to blow it all up.
There's an NBC like sports anchor that covers Washington, and after the Browns beat the Commanders, he just completely went off on a 2-minute rant, and there's a lot of dysfunction in the organization just simply because Dan Snyder's going to sell it soon.
Oh yeah.
So why would you sign all these guys?
Yeah.
If ownership is literally
getting ready to change hands,
getting changed, and more than likely with new ownership, they want to bring in their guys.
Yep.
So if guys aren't getting canned the first year, they're definitely getting canned the second year. So people are going to naturally fall through the cracks, and I think Daron Payne has a chance to be one of them.
Yeah, I think that Andrew's also saying that Jed's 5th-year option is going to be picked up. I think Jed's going to be on the team. I really do think that Jed's going to make the team.
Yeah.
But it's just in what capacity though.
See, the only thing with your take on getting Orlando Brown that kind of has me kind of on it is because like if we're going to pay Orlando Brown, Jed Wills, and Conklin, because we just signed him to a big extension.
Yeah.
It's like, are we going to bump Jed inside? Or we like,
that's true. What exactly are you gonna do tonight? It's so crazy. I think it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be very, very interesting. Obviously you're gonna have Fletcher Cox. You're gonna have
the return of Eden Columbus.
The Eden Columbus, baby.
What State of the Union?
What is up? Long time no see. Shout out to one of the vets here. Yeah. State of the Browns strong. Honestly,
not to be the stereotypical guy, but like, who let you in?
Yeah, I gotta talk to the security guard. Matty G's in prison somewhere. So, but honestly, no yard time for Matty G tonight. Unfortunately, he's screaming at he said he's screaming at Joe Burrow, the social media quarterback. So, hey, that's what he's in jail for. So no yard time for him. But anyway, again, Orlando Brown, Alan Lazard are some guys' options. So Matt Ioannidis, you have Fletcher Cox. There's some guys that I had out there. I couldn't choose exactly. I think Fletcher Cox, like I said before, he's gonna retire after winning the Super Bowl because I do believe the Eagles are gonna win. Matt Ioannidis, he's gonna be cheap, $9 million in Carolina. Carolina's gonna be sending all their players away. Same thing with Washington; they're gonna be sending all their players away. So Alan Lazard, I would like Alan Lazard. I would like Matt Ioannidis and Orlando Brown. So, but yeah, Orlando Brown's gonna cost a lot of money for sure. Shout out to Ed. What do you think, Mac? Who are your three?
So, a guy that I referenced before, Zach Allen. Now, I do think that there is an actual strong chance that they're going to re-sign him, considering the fact that J.J. Watt is retired. But with their kind of new regime, I don't know. There's talk of DeAndre Hopkins possibly being traded.
Yep.
So why would they want to extend this guy? But I'll tell you, the more that I look into Zach Allen, I love his frame. He's 6'4", he's 280. He's got some beef on him. He's good against the run. 6 sacks, 35 pressures. That's the big thing. Everybody looks at sacks, but pressures is a stat that uses QB hits, hurries, and sacks. So it's how many times has he affected the quarterback?
Yes. Yes.
Another guy, another defensive end. Now, this is a little bit more. You didn't change the garage. Why do I picture Ed with just like a crowbar? Just like.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome.
Show you guys the luck, man.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
that is
awesome.
I can you got him with a crowbar. Home Alone kind of guy.
So, a little bit more realistic pick here as a defensive end. I really do like DeMarcus Walker. Now, you guys are going to be like, who the hell is this guy? He was with Tennessee. We just brought in Jim Schwartz, who knows this guy very well. Right now he has a very small contract, $1.18 million that's set to expire this year. So he is going to get paid, but I don't believe that he's one of those guys that's going to command more than like 12, 13 a year. 7 sacks, 32 pressures, and a pretty good PFF grade of 72. He's another big guy, 6'4", 280. He can also rush inside as well. And we know how that, I think the big defensive picture that we're going to get out of next year is we're going to move Myles Garrett around, whether it's wide 9, whether it's, we're going to flip him on the other side of the field. We're going to put him inside. Having a guy like DeMarcus Walker that can rush from the outside and then as well as the inside, I think that's definitely something to, look for and want on your roster. And to round it up, I have Marcus Davenport from New Orleans. He's 26. His rookie contract's coming up. Only 1 sack, but 34 pressures. So, pretty good PFF grade of 76, which is 2 points better than Tomlinson, which is a guy that we've talked about. So his big thing now, he's got a little bit smaller frame, 6'6", 265, but he's got a lot of reach, which, if you look into offensive, defensive linemen, the big thing that they look for is reach.
Right.
Can you get in another guy's chest without him being able to extend on you? Marcus Davenport has that ability, and, he's used to playing next to a star rusher in Cameron Jordan. So, he knows how to be a role player.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we need. We need to get Myles Garrett some help. We need to get Myles Garrett some help, and we have to have it in the form of a guy who isn't going to be a one and done, right? Yeah. Because you want to get somebody who can hopefully take on the reins in defensive line with Myles Garrett. I mean, eventually, because these players don't play forever, right? Same thing the Eagles did with Fletcher Cox, use their high draft pick and getting Jordan Davis. So honestly, yeah. I mean, I think that you should get some, either whether it be through free agency or through the draft. I think that you need to address that position. And speaking of the draft, I kind of want to get some of your guys. Go ahead.
Let me get my other 2 guys.
Yeah, good.
So the other 2 guys, first guy or second guy, Jimmy Ward, 49ers. I like Jimmy Ward. Dude's a dog.
Isn't he 30? Isn't he 30? Isn't he older?
He's like 31.
He's 31 right now.
3 picks, 5 pass deflections, 2 QB hits, 1 forced fumble, 50 tackles last year.
Yeah.
He's solid. You could probably get him on a cheaper deal.
Yeah.
And for my last one, it's a guy that I was really heavy on last season. I was pounding on the table all free agency for him, leading up to free agency.
Oh, man.
And he chose the Lions. DJ Chark, 69.6 PFF grade, 30 receptions, 502 yards, and 3 tutties. Dude would be a perfect wide receiver 3 here in Cleveland.
Yeah. Oh man. Do you think? I just out of curiosity, before we move on to the draft picks in college, Dalton Schultz, tight end of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he's only 27. He's going to be a potential free agent. I don't know if the Cowboys might sign him back, but I mean, they're looking to keep Dak Prescott there for another few years too. So, almost, I think they're even talking about signing an extension for Dak Prescott already. Just to be there for forever. I think they're okay with, mediocrity, I guess. I'm just going to keep building around him. But again, they're used to that. But Tony Romo's play and Dak Prescott's play, they just I don't know. They think that this division is winnable with Dak Prescott, so whatever. But there's Dalton Schultz, also an option for tight end. But or are you guys okay to move to the draft?
Game.
Well,
right.
I kind of want to touch. So I'll say this, especially bringing up Dalton Schultz.
Mhm.
I get it. I'm beating a dead horse at this point.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
if we're accumulating offensive talent, we got to get speed and we got to get a vertical threat. I
Yeah.
really liked your choice
Yeah.
there, Christian, DJ Shark. We just need explosive playability. That's really it. Everybody wants to talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh no, I would hate that. Like, can't stand it. I don't want that guy on my team." No,
Mhm.
like, of course,
Mhm.
he's a great wide receiver. But ask anyone that has heavily covered this team since 2020, and the Browns offense has had the same problem every year, and they can't take the top off of defense. And it just condenses, and it's making the job harder on Amari Cooper. It's making the job harder on Donovan Peoples-Jones, and it's making the job harder on David Njoku because he can't sit in the zone anymore. They will, I promise you, defenses will load the box and they will play tight press man coverage until we finally have a deep threat to where you can't just hang a single high safety. You got to have two guys back there. And, it'll help the run game as well because Nick Chubb won't be running into 10 defenders on the line of scrimmage. So, I really hope that they address that this year, either in free agency or the draft. I put a tweet out there a couple days ago. Brandon Cooks.
Mhm.
Just saying.
That'd be nice.
That would be nice. Also, just some small Cleveland Browns minutes for all of the deep Browns fans out there. The Browns did sign a defensive tackle, Michael Dumfour. Dumfour he's in his second season, and he signed it with the Jets as an unrestricted free agent in 2021. 6'1", 296 pounds, and he also played 2 or 3 games for the 49ers in 2022. So it's shout out to the Cleveland Browns for trying to address defensive tackle for in the reserves. So we also have that kind of signing. Didn't make big splashes or headlines or anything, but it is news that it needs to be reported on.
Yeah. Who is that guy?
He apparently he is a undrafted defensive tackle. I mean, he had some snaps with the 49ers, had 13 total tackles and 1 half sack and a fumble recovery in 2 whole seasons. That's not a season stat.
Okay.
So I mean, he's a 6'1", 300 pounds. I think that's just more of a practice squad kind of reserve situation invite. And they're starting early. But obviously it's news that, I mean, didn't make any splashes whatsoever. I mean, people probably didn't even report on it, but here at the Down with the Browns, we got you covered. So what were you going to say, Christian?
I said for sure, big dog. But going into the draft portion of these top 3, so I've progressively grown in favor of this linebacker out of Iowa, Jack Campbell.
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty big on him, man. Like, I think if we can get him in the 3rd, I'll be pretty happy. He's had back-to-back seasons of plus 120 tackles. He had a sack, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, 2 picks. Yep. And dude, like, I watched him against Kentucky. I'm not saying Kentucky's a big powerhouse school.
No.
Sorry to interrupt, but there is something big just happened.
What's that?
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It might be a little breaking news.
What?
That's like this is Evan Columbus with your Down with the Browns. Breaking news. Actually, it's just a force of habit. Had to do it. What's up, my guys?
What's up?
What's going on, Ed?
I don't know. You guys tell me. Got this high.
Bro, what?
Manny.
What is up, Eddie Columbus?
Oh, well, Columbus is up right now. It's about it was 58 degrees today, a little rain today. So we're doing good. How you guys doing?
Bro, we're doing really well. We're talking some Browns and some crazy splashes of this random guy in defensive tackle. But Ed, I just want you to know that the Celtics are doing real well atop the Eastern Conference. I just wanted just a quick reminder. Have a little shirt. I know you like that shirt.
Well, I quick history lesson, Manny, because I love history. The Cavs were the ones that ended Larry Bird's career back in 1992, and I think Spider Mitchell is going to end the Cavs season this year. You know what?
Sorry, force a habit. Force a habit.
Love you too, Mac. And I want to apologize to Mac for the defensive tackle position that I undervalued this past year. But I will say one thing. If the Browns had Deshaun Watson the whole year and with the franchise quarterback that I think he can be, I think that position would have been mitigated somewhat and hopefully going into next year. But obviously it's a position of need. I think JOK, I'll say this about JOK. Maybe I overhyped him a little bit too much. Maybe we need to get back to getting the big physical meat in the middle, get linebackers that are actually linebacker size. And I think Jim Schwartz, because he did some good things, especially starting out in the 90s in Berea. I think going back to old school Browns football the way it should be.
Hold on. I need to say this because I know exactly what you're talking about, Ed. You want the big thumpers in the middle. I got it. But
Campbell.
this is also the same guy that was talking about Derek Brooks coming into the NFL. Now JOK's the traditional. See, I don't know why everybody kind of looks at JOK this way, but like I think everybody thinks that he's just the middle linebacker. This guy's a weak side linebacker. I think he would have done a lot better last year playing in Ronnie Harrison's role. That part kind of almost like a rover concept a little bit, that safety that's playing in the box. I do think JOK is pretty good in coverage. A little bit of weight wouldn't hurt him, but also, I think his biggest problem, and I mentioned this to Christian a week ago, he's very, very energetic, and the word twitchy is used with him a lot. And there's a lot of times where he just catches himself out of his gap. You saw it a lot in the Buffalo game before he got injured. It's just he does this a lot of like unnecessary movement during the play, and there's sometimes where he'll unintentionally just kind of take himself out of the play. Next thing you know, running back's cutting it up for an extra 7-8 yards. But Ed, like I absolutely agree. They need where's the beef? They need that beef in the middle.
And let me tell you where it's at. It's in Iowa. It's Jack Campbell, 6'5", 265. Get him in Cleveland.
6'5", 265 in Iowa, from Iowa.
Yeah.
Is that your main pick that you're picking up?
Well, that's who I want. I think we could probably get him in the third, maybe. I think that he's a little bit slower. I'm not gonna say he's a big, quick linebacker. He's not. He's just the big.
I didn't come on this show to not talk about University of Kentucky. Where's Will Levis going? Where's their guy going?
He's going one.
Going one.
No, he's not. You heard everybody knows the vibes about Will.
I'm telling you,
he's not. They're so down on him.
Confident about it.
They're so down on Will Levis. You better start talking about it.
It's the people, bro. Listen, hear me.
Tell everybody that you were too much of a coward to take my bet because we had this bet weeks ago.
What? That he'll go one?
And I said no. You said he'll go top 5, and I said no, he won't.
Yeah, he will.
He will not go top 5.
He's gonna go number 3.
Manny, CJ Stroud or Will Levis? Who you taking?
CJ Stroud. Oh my goodness, Bryce Young or Will Levis?
I mean, anybody's gonna look good throwing to the 2 future Hall of Fame wide receivers.
Oh, see now it's future Hall. Now it's the wide receivers you have.
So you're telling me Marvin Harrison Jr. ain't gonna be the best receiver that come out of next year's class?
No, he will. He
I'm gonna
will.
say
He will.
JSN is one of the
He
best
absolutely
receivers
will.
in this
He
class.
absolutely will. But
The
Will
Emu,
Levis, the problem with
whatever.
Will Levis, the problem with Will Levis, he's another Justin Herbert kind of guy. He's another social media kind of quarterback. You saw those throws he was throwing on social media, that big arm throws. We saw the same
saw him
thing.
throw
We saw the same thing with Zach
game.
Wilson. He's another Zach Wilson.
No, bro, I saw this
He
guy.
is.
See, I don't know if he's that bad. I don't.
See, bro, no. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate. Will Levis competed in the SEC.
I
A
just
lot
think
of people in
it's
the
gross
judges
the
last
amount
season.
of Duke's
No.
mayonnaise that he uses. Honestly,
Listen,
it just
I-
rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I think he'll be a pretty good quarterback.
See,
but it's just-
that's why people don't like him. But if you remember, I remember we watched the Florida game together, correct, Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was he
played
doing?
pretty good.
He was making
He was
big
making plays.
baller
He was making plays.
throws.
Yeah.
Yeah. And midway
Well-
through the year, he gets hurt.
Oh, all I got to say about social media and Will Levis, hey, put more of his girlfriend on social media. That's all I got to say.
We gotta get.
Don't let him fall victim to the Joe Burrow mentality.
It's the Joe Burrow mentality. It's the Joe Burrow mentality. Seriously, it really is. It truly is.
Oh, and I got a question for you guys because I throwing out Ohio State players. If you're the Chicago Bears, and I would be for this. I'm not the biggest Justin Fields fan when it comes to actually throwing the football.
Yeah.
But would you look to trade him and then maybe pick up one of the quarterbacks that actually can throw the football?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Christian.
Nah,
You're
dude,
shaking your head. You're shaking your head.
I'm trading back. I'm trading back from one, and I'm loading up picks for next year.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take the kid out of TCU. I'm gonna trade back to whoever has 9. I believe it's where are the Panthers at? 7?
7.
So I think they're at 7.
Okay, I'm trading back with the Panthers at 7. I'm taking the kid out of TCU, wide receiver. And then the rest of the picks, you could probably get a first, a second, maybe a first next year. So I'm stacking up on that. I'm taking a wide receiver, and then I'm taking defense in the second round. And then next year's draft, there's another good receiver out of the Ohio State University.
Yes, there is.
People are. Do you believe teams? You know what? These days, wide receivers, rookie wide receivers, are making an instant impact. Do you think teams will tank for Marcus Harrison Jr.? Like they would tank for a quarterback?
I mean, he looks exactly like his father, but he's taller, which is ridiculous. Yeah. And even if he's half of what his All-Pro Hall of Fame dad is, he's still going to be a damn good player. And bringing up to Christian's point here, the thing with the Chicago Bears is that now I would never advocate trading away Justin Fields. I mean, he was their entire offense, and he, with Lamar Jackson now being injured, he's the most dynamic quarterback in the NFL.
Can he throw the football, Matt? Can he throw the ball? That's my.
Why don't you get him a receiver? I mean, if his best receiver is Cole Kmet, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle if your best wide receiver is like tight end 15. Which, funny enough, I actually had Jalen Hyatt at 42.
Hey, let's what do you think about Jalen
Hyatt? It's really weird because he was the most explosive wide receiver in college football last year. 18.9 yards per catch. He puts up 5 TDs against Bama, 15 TDs all season. They say, oh, his route tree isn't finished. Well, it doesn't matter because the guy runs I'm assuming a 4-2, 4-3, and he puts on a double move on somebody and he's already behind the defense.
Yep.
PFF has him as the 64th best prospect and the 6th best wide receiver in his class, which I don't understand why. Everybody falls in love with this TCU guy. I can see Jackson Smith-Njigba. I get that.
Yeah.
But like everybody else, the one thing that you can't teach is speed, and Jalen Hyatt has speed, man. If the Browns get him at 42, I mean, he is – because they've tried this, man. They traded for Odell Beckham. That didn't work out. They thought Anthony Schwartz could be the next Tyreek Hill. Turns out that he's just a track star that just put on shoulder pads for the first time. We tried Jakeem Grant, but he blew out his Achilles, and I hope to God that we do get to see him at some point next year because, he was a very much explosive player. And I think that hot take right here, if they had Jakeem Grant, that offense would have looked completely different last year. And I do think they would have made the playoffs because that's the one thing that they're missing. And I think maybe why they knock Jalen Hyatt a lot is because Yeah, of course he's not going to be a wide receiver 1, but that's not what the Browns need. They need a wide receiver 3 that can take the top off the defense. And if he is that horizontal and vertical threat that he was in college, and he can be that in Cleveland, look out. Because it for the first time that I've ever seen, the Browns will have a complete offense.
Well,
absolutely. If
Mac,
he's there at 42, take him.
I like what Max said about getting a wide receiver 3, or whatever like that. But here's my thing. Okay, now correct me if I'm wrong, because I've been in Columbus for a while. But the name of the airport in Cleveland is Hopkins International Airport. There's a guy named DeAndre Hopkins out there that one quarterback, Deshaun Watson, has a nice rapport with, and I think that'd be a nice air show in Cleveland. So, what do you guys think about that?
I mean, I wouldn't mind having D-Hop, but I don't think that the Browns are going to give up what they're willing to take for him.
Brandon Cooks would be cheaper, and he's a more explosive player.
And honestly,
he's had more yards.
A hot take
after catch.
Hot take. I think I would rather have Keenan Allen if he's cut than having to trade for D-Hop.
Oh no, that's not a hot take. Keenan Allen's younger, and I think
you're going to get a little bit of a deal with Keenan Allen.
Yeah, you'll get a deal with Keenan Allen.
People are saying that he's going to be getting like $20 million. No, he's not.
I don't know.
He's not getting no $20 million.
I mean, if Christian Kirk can get $22 million,
but Christian Kirk doesn't constantly go out there and get hurt. He ain't constantly hurt.
But here's the thing. So there's a lot of teams that don't have the rationale. And they're going to say, oh, well, we need a wide receiver 1. Keenan Allen's available. Well, hey, Keenan, how much you want? 25? Sure, we'll do it.
Yeah.
But he's getting a little bit up there in age, man.
Today, another guy that's going to hit the market here, T. Higgins. There's a lot of teams in the league right now that need a wide receiver 1 and have the cap space to pay $25 million for a wide receiver 1. And my big problem with DeAndre Hopkins is, and it would still be a problem if we did go for Brandon Cooks, we're already paying Amari Cooper $25 million. Amari Cooper is the wide receiver 1. We just need somebody that can take the top off the defense. I'd love D-Hop, but I don't think the money that he's going to command is going to be worth it.
You can restructure, and Andrew says Keenan Allen might go to Chicago, which I think they're already done with the Chase Claypool experience. Kind of they weren't having it.
Imagine paying a second round for that.
I'm used to Cleveland always getting an overhyped wide receiver that causes Browns Twitter to fight with each other every day.
That's true. But here's what the interesting thing is, and the reason why it gives me cause to pause about just saying no to DeAndre Hopkins is because I think what's very interesting with D-Hop is that TikTok that Deshaun made. It's almost, as an NFL player, you sometimes don't, it's February, right? You don't kind of hype up stuff about the next season unless unless you're coming back from injury or something's going down. You know how certain players like Saquon Barkley, tweets out scripted stuff. 2023 is about to be a movie. You don't do stuff like that unless something's in the water. Now it could be a Brandon Cooks. It could be. But is a Brandon Cooks really TikTok worthy? Is Brandon Cooks really TikTok subliminal?
Hold on.
Odell Beckham, or this man is TikTok worthy.
Hold up.
We're 3 years away from a D-Hop 1,000-yard season. We're 2 years away from a Brandon Cooks 1,000-yard season.
D-Hop was injured. D-Hop was injured last season. Number 1, and number 2.
And he put a needle in his ass.
And you know what? And another thing about D-Hop. Let me put his picture back up here. Another thing about D-Hop probably looked at what the penalty was for performance enhancing drugs or whatever he took, and was like 10 games to revitalize my career for maybe 2-3 more seasons. I'll take that shot. I'll take that penalty.
That's how steroids work.
Listen. And I don't think here's the thing. We don't know. We don't know if it was steroids. We don't know if it was steroids. But we do know it was some kind of illegal performance enhancing drug. So you're telling me that I'm getting a DeAndre Hopkins performance enhanced DeAndre Hopkins who already served his penalty?
Manny, all I know is that through declassified information that I obtained, this is Breakhead News,
Breaking
the
news.
Chinese spy balloon actually said D-Hop to the Browns.
D-Hop to the Browns.
Is that
It is going to be a movie. Hey, Deshaun said it.
You got to have leading
Sounds
actors, to make it a movie.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you.
Don't
Thank
knock
you.
his numbers.
Thank you.
And Brandon Cooks.
that's
And
what I'm
Brandon Cooks
saying,
wants
man.
out.
Don't
And
be
Brandon Cooks
waving
wants
your
out.
hand at Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks is a
Yeah.
wide receiver.
Nothing to
one
sneeze
still.
at, my friend. Nothing to sneeze
I
at.
remember the talks last year when we thought we were going to get him.
Yeah, Ed. I'm sneezing
Well,
at that.
they wanted a second rounder, and the Browns weren't budging. But it's another offseason. He is getting a little bit older. Would a third round do it this time? I think the Browns pulled the trigger.
Mac is saying let Brandon Cooks cook in Cleveland. Is that
Let Brandon Cooks cook. We got to stop letting people cook. I mean,
How's the
after the whole
crock
last
pots doing, Manny? How's your crock pot?
the crock pots are in the dishwasher for 5 months. They're going to be coming back out once minicamp starts. I bought a little toaster oven for the Celtics. I want to do a little different route. I got a toaster oven for the Cavs. You know what? I'm
Why? Because Jaylen Brown burnt toast. Trying to guard these
I mean,
Cavs?
it's so crazy because I'm going to be so nasty on the Twitter Spaces. You guys better pray and hope and pray that there isn't a Cavs Celtics series. I mean, it's going to be so disgusting. I'm going to turn on you guys. I'm going to be the worst cousin at the family reunion. I'm going to be it's going to be so nasty. It's going to be so nasty.
Pronounce your team name correctly.
I'm just trying to help you out. I'm just letting you know what's going on. It's going to be a lot of wigs, a lot of toaster ovens, and maybe a crock pot.
Drunk in Boston. I would like to go to Boston.
Just
and
get you some
talk
Dunkin'
to these
Donuts.
people, that are drinking Sam Adams.
Sam
And
Adams.
I would like to ask them why they call the Celtics Celtics. If you are actually Irish, you would know that it's pronounced Celtic. If anybody
when you have 17 championships, you can do what you want with the name. So I'm telling you, we got enough rings to go around.
Be
Those
illiterate.
don't
Be
count.
illiterate. That's fine.
15 of those
Manny, the
don't
one
count.
championship LeBron bought us in 2016 is worth 18 championships.
And you know what? LeBron wouldn't have that if he wasn't kicking Draymond Green between the legs. That's what happened. That's what
because
exactly.
that affected game 6 and 7.
Draymond did that to LeBron. Because LeBron stepped over him. Sorry. Let me say
crazy?
that.
I've never seen a Cavs player, publicly toilet themselves on live TV. I did see Paul Pierce do that, though.
Paul Pierce did have to use the
bring in the
restroom.
wheelchair.
Paul Pierce did have to use the restroom, and unfortunately,
you keep
was at a
talking
bad
about
time.
this illustrious Celtics championships.
Celtics,
But
franchise, beautiful jerseys.
10 of them were won before television even existed.
This is what happens. This is what happens. But you
Well,
want to know
the
what?
last time the
You want to
Celtics
see?
won a
Can I say something?
DVD
I was 8 years old. the last
Keep it
time
going.
they
Actually,
won.
keep it going because I want to show you guys the hypocritical. Don't we claim
eight
championships?
He taped it. He probably taped it on the VHS, and he's got to use the rewinder. That's how old it is.
Mac, don't you claim 8 championships before it was even called a Super Bowl for the Browns?
No, I don't do that.
You don't do. Okay. I just want to make sure.
The pre and post '99 team. Here's the thing. I was born 4 months before the team moved.
Mhm.
I have no recollection of what that franchise was like, and this is going to be a hot take, and I'm going to get roasted for it.
Oh.
But the team that we root for now is not the team that everybody talks about. About the glorious 80s, the 70s, the Jim Brown and the Otto Graham era. These are two completely different organizations, and which is why post '99 it's been an absolute dumpster fire. But two completely different teams, so you can't really use that argument on it.
That what, and I think that is
roast them. You know what, Mac? I agree with what you're saying from an administrative point of view. But if the Browns would have been good from '99, or would have had quarterbacks the likes of Otto Graham, Bernie Kosar, Brian Stipon would have been in that realm. Then
Yeah, but their
owner
owner was a soccer guy. They didn't even they didn't even have a football guy to buy it. Randy Lerner didn't give a damn about football. He was more interested in MLS, which was making him less money. which
Hey,
makes no
speaking
sense.
of MLS, the Columbus Crew 2020 MLS Cup champions. I want to shout them out.
Shout out to the Clemson, and also shout out to the Cleveland soccer team that they're supposed to be getting. I do want to add this to the stream real quick and scare all the Cavs fans. That's the man you're going to be. You're going to be. Oh, KFC took it down, but that's the man you're going to have to face. That's the fan you're going to have to face. And you guys are great at home. The Cavs are great at home, but when they're on the road, they're trash. So that's going to be a first round exit, 3-2. You can win your 2 home games, your 2 measly home games. That's fine, but you're going to lose on an away game, and Donovan Mitchell is going to do what he did in Utah and just go home, first round exit. So it's fun, and then he'll leave and go to New York. So you had Donovan Mitchell for one season.
Keep talking.
You had Donovan Mitchell for one season. I hope you didn't get too many.
Well, beat you guys in 5.
Jerseys. I hope you didn't get too many Donovan Mitchell jerseys because it's going to be sad. The Celtics, go C's, go Celtics, bleed green. It's such an unfortunate time for Cleveland fans. I understand.
Before we let Manny continue his just idiotic thoughts that he keeps rambling on about these overrated Celtics.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Hold on. That's weird. That's
What?
weird. See, that can't be the last 2 times that the Browns have, or I'm sorry, the Cavs played the Celtics.
Oh my goodness!
That can't be the.
Here we go.
That can't
Here
be
we
the
go.
2 scores.
Here we go. You know what? Now I understand what it's like to be a Bengals fan and have Browns fans come up to you and say, we're 8-1 versus you guys. You know what I mean? Listen. It's all over March 1st at 7:30 on ESPN. Be there.
When's the last time the
ESPN's
Celtics actually beat the Cavs in a playoff series, though? On a real note.
Well, unfortunately, you guys didn't make it last year because you were 1 and done in the play-in. They made a whole play-in for you guys, and you still couldn't win. You still could go to the playoffs. They made an extra slot for you guys, but you
played the Nets.
Yeah, we swept them. If you guys were that good, you would have swept them.
Hey, Manny, Game 7, 2018. Game 7. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
2018 Eastern Conference.
I do, and I have no comeback for that. Cavs did crush the Wizards last night, so not the Warriors. But again, I digress with the basketball talk because I don't want to.
Since this is down with the Browns, let's just recap those 3. We'll just name them off real quick. So my 3 college players that I think the Browns should possibly just scout and hopefully pick. I like Jack Campbell, Iowa. I like Kayshon Boutte, however you want to say it, from LSU. I know a lot of people are out on LSU players, but watch this guy play in person. Dude's a dog. Can confirm that. And then Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle for Michigan. I know Ed's probably throwing up.
You know who I want the Browns to pick?
Who?
Whoever they want to pick. Don't pick them because they always pick the wrong players. So whatever they're going to do.
That's a good. Whoever you're drawing up on your boards.
Yeah, just don't pick those.
When it's draft day, just erase it and then just put who. Just you know what, they should put it on auto pick and just pick best available player like they do in fantasy. They should just pick the best available player on the draft. That's what they really should do. D tackle. I only have one. I really only have one guy. Obviously, we have Jalen Hyatt, but I do want to throw out Michael Mayer. We're gonna have to make a trade for Michael Mayer. Obviously, tight end from Notre Dame, tight end of the year award. It's a lot to ask for because he's the best tight end in the country. But again, I don't know if he's going to fall, but if you're going to do any trades, people are probably saying you should probably trade for a defensive tackle. But I think it's just I like Michael Mayer a lot. I really do. And this is you can see it's a wide receiver and tight end driven league. And if you have a tight end who can do a lot on the football field, it helps you out a lot. And I know we just paid David Njoku, but I don't know. I guess this is more of a pick in my head that we had before paying David Njoku because not that I don't trust David Njoku. He had a fantastic catch in Washington, or was it Tampa Bay, to send him into to overtime. So I mean, again, it's that's who I like personally. But who do you like back?
So talking about Jalen Hyatt, another wide receiver that I like that's going to be there in a little bit later rounds. I like Jake Bobo Bobo. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name there, from UCLA. He's 6'4", a huge frame, despite playing with a little bit like mediocre quarterback talent. 800 yards, 14 yards per catch, 7 TDs. And he's great at the tough catches and extending his body. Great route tree. He just doesn't have the speed, and the production that some of these other guys have. But just his length alone gives him separation. And in Cleveland, it's tough to get a first down. So any guy that can make the tough catches, I do like. And he's ranked 45th at his position this past year, and he's 197th on the big board. So, he'll definitely be available in the later rounds. And one guy that not everybody's talking about. So everybody's talking about Andre Carter, but I really like Mike Morris out of Michigan. I really do. 6'6", he's 292, bigger frame than Carter. And I do believe that I don't think that he's going to be playing at 292. It's a lot easier to ask a player to lose a little bit of weight than to put it on and still be the explosive player that they are.
Yeah.
57 pressures,
Mm-hmm.
9 sacks, and an 83 overall grade. He's 42nd of all edge defenders this past year in college football, and he's 48th on the big board rank. So he could be there at 42. If Jalen Hyatt isn't there and they don't really like the speedsters at wide receiver, I think Mike Morris would be a safe pick.
Yep. And this is Jake Bowlett for all the viewers are actually watching. So
he's tall.
Yeah.
I mean, he just reminds me kind of Drake London. Not quite as polished, but long arms. Again, 6'4", 215. You don't see a lot of wide receivers at that size.
No.
Solid.
Great recap, guys. For that, I had
A great
mini
one.
stroke.
Great recap. Yeah.
Great recap. I
This is
literally
what
had the
happens
biggest.
when you don't broadcast for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. Exactly,
sloppy.
Mac. Thank you. We got sloppy. We got sloppy. there.
We cut down to one podcast a week, and then we just didn't do it for 2 weeks.
We were like, oh,
I got sick. Maney got sick. Max
You guys
just
taking
Mac.
veteran days off like Joe Thomas. Veteran days.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So definitely, before we go, can we just give the winners of the Super Bowl really quickly, and then we can sign on out. What do you? Let's start with our wonderful guest first, Ed in Columbus, who is winning the 2023 Super Bowl.
Well, the Kelsey Bowl, I'm going to give it actually to Travis. It's hard for me to go against Fly Eagles Fly. I can't lie. But I think Mahomes gets it done 31-28 in an epic. And one thing great about it being in Glendale, Arizona, with Rihanna doing the halftime, she won't need an umbrella. Ella, and hopefully there won't be too many Whopper, chicken, Burger King commercials.
Whopper.
Oh, I don't think they're paying. If they pay the millions upon millions of dollars for that commercial for Super Bowl,
I don't
I'm going to
think
be
Burger
impressed.
King has that kind of money. I don't think they do. They haven't.
Andrew says Casey's winning. Yeah, I don't know if they use all their money spreading out the commercials throughout the football season, but they don't have the type of bread.
I'm addicted to them. They've done a great job.
Oh yeah, they have. Mac, what do you think?
So, and before I go, everybody, because I know it's been 2 weeks, drop your score predictions. If you get it exactly right on par, we'll send you free merch. Shout out to Megan, by the way, for winning the 5K follower shirt. Shout out to you. But in terms of the Super Bowl, I got Philadelphia. Like I said before, that defensive line is nasty. A lot of contributors up front. And I think they'll be able to rush 4 against Patrick Mahomes on the other side of the ball. They know how to run the football, whether it's Jalen Hurts, whether it's Miles Sanders, whether it's Boston Scott, and they got pretty damn good wide receivers as well. So I think it's going to be a tight one. I think somewhere along the lines of like 34-31. Go Birds.
Go Birds. So Rihanna will have to bring that umbrella for all the points that are going to be scored.
Oh, also, and a quick prayer to the city of Philadelphia, because if the Eagles do win, there will be riots in the streets. Things will be burning down. I'm not even joking when I say this. People were standing on top of bus stops and falling through roofs.
Yes.
Some dude was caught climbing up a skyscraper today. That was interesting. So that's just for winning the NFC Championship, and I do remember the riots when they won in 2017. So I can imagine that they're going to be just as hilariously bad. So go Birds.
I do think the Eagles are going to win. I want the Eagles to win because I want off of work on Monday, and I'm pretty sure it'll be a holiday over here in this area. So schools are going to be closed. Everybody's going to be, at the Super Bowl parade, whenever it is. It's probably going to be Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. They already have the Super Bowl route ready and then still scripted from 4 or 5 years ago. So I think the Eagles are going to win this one. A lot of players are going to be retiring from that team. You're going to see that. But I think that the defensive line is going to be too much for Patrick Mahomes.
Yep. I agree. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah. And I guess that's a great way to end the episode. It's great being back. Hopefully we don't miss another 2 weeks. So
Yeah, right.
We'll be back.
Yeah,
next
we're
Monday
gonna
at 7.
try to actually make Mondays at 7-ish. We've been terrible about it, but then again, it's a podcast with 4 degenerate Browns fans, so
Yes.
we try our best.
I would say 3.
3. Christian's like, I'm not claiming.
I'm
that.
not saying who's the one that's not.
We're gonna have to argue over that.
Yeah.
Who it is?
All right. And go Browns.
Go Browns. Go Browns.